Thus, we find ourselves here yet again for the second half of my top 20 Super Nintendo games. If you haven't seen the first part, I recommend that you go back and watch that first. Either press the card in the upper corner or press the link down in the description. This list may contain minor spoilers, so beware. Now let us proceed with the final 10 games. Number 10. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was once my favorite Zelda game of all time. I used to play this game quite a bit over at my friend's house as a kid. We would never get very far in the game, and we would usually begin from the beginning of the game every time we played, and even if we didn't, we wouldn't make much progress. We knew about the Dark World thanks to my friend's older sister, which had beaten the game, so when we finally made it there, after beating Aghanim, it was the coolest thing ever. This was as far as we would ever get in the game, but man did I have so many great memories from the first part of the game. That's ironically where the game shines the most in my opinion. The game is great in terms of gameplay, and compared to The Legend of Zelda on the NES, the controls were amazing. It looks beautiful, and the many new gadgets of Link's are so much fun to use. Sadly, I can't find myself to enjoy the Dark World of the game as much as the Light World. What the Dark World does have over the Light World, on the other hand, are epic boss fights that makes up for the less interesting Dark World. This is why A Link to the Past is my number 10 on the list. Number 9. I never played this game growing up. In fact, it was never released in Europe, so I had no idea about its existence at the time. It was not until I was a teenager and started browsing the internet where I first found out about this game. Originally, I played it for a while on the PlayStation on a burnt copy of the game and enjoyed the game, and I think I got as far as getting Frog for the first time. Sadly, with a faulty memory card that was untrustworthy, I left the game, and it wasn't until the release of Chrono Trigger on the Wii's Virtual Console where I bought it. This was the year of 2012, where I also decided I wanted to do a blind let's play of the game, which I did, and oh my, what a fantastic trip that would become. I don't think I have ever seen another game pull off a time-traveling story as solid as Chrono Trigger has. What makes this RPG stand out so much compared to most of its competitors at the time is the fact that you can see where the most encounters will take place, and you can avoid the enemies accordingly. The game's fighting mechanic is pretty unique as well, as it lets you combine 2 or 3 characters' special attacks, making it into one awesome ultra move. The music is amazing as well, and the cast of characters were great. In fact, there is no playable character I disliked. They were all different in their quirky ways, and that made them great. If you have yet to play this game, I definitely recommend you do so right after this video. Number 8. It's on like Donkey Kong! This time we are heading into the jungle on Donkey Kong Island to find out that Donkey Kong is about to start his own platforming adventure. In his very own country, no less. This is yet another game I played over at a friend's house when I was a kid. In fact, 2 of my friends had this game. Well, technically 3 did. Anyway, for those of you who have seen Groose92's legendary adventure has already heard his story, but for those who hasn't, it will be a first for you. So I and my friends used to struggle a lot in World 4, the ice world. So much in fact that we couldn't beat it. So in the first snow level of World 4, we arrived at the barrel section and I misfired one of the shots and flew up in the air. Expecting death, we instead found a surprise of a hidden barrel that took us to the end of the level. That to us was amazing, and that's my absolutely best memory of Donkey Kong Country. It's one of the best looking Super Nintendo games graphically, but to me that doesn't matter because the gameplay and level design are absolutely amazing, and beating each level felt like a huge accomplishment. I also love the different animal buddies you can use throughout the game, and my favorite shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's Winky the Frog, since it could jump the highest. The game's music was amazing and the game left some memorable tracks behind it. Number 7. Why suck and blow in one game when you can do it in 6? Number 7 is Kirby's Superstar and Kirby's Fun Pack as it's known as here in Europe. This game contains not of one game but of 6 with 2 extra minigames and a hidden unlockable boss rush. I loved this game as a kid and I still love it as an adult. The games may be short for the most parts, but they do offer a lot of content like new abilities, a partner system, and in some games a choice to choose between abilities at will, and it also remakes Kirby Dream Land in 16-bit graphics and add abilities to it. However, I found the original to be more enjoyable. The minigames are a short spur of fun, and my favorite main game is the Great Cave Offensive, which is like a huge adventure where the worlds connect with each other and you go looking for treasures before you escape the large cave system. Think of it as Kirby meets Metroidvania, but without the detailed map. Number 6. Cowabunga, dude! It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this time they are traveling in time trying to stop the evil Shredder to give him no slack. Turtles was basically the best thing ever when I was a kid for some time. I loved the movies, I enjoyed the cartoons, and that's about it. I had seen this game as my brother and his friend played through it, and it looked like fun. Fast forward several years to my teen years and we once again visit emulations. My friend and I used to play this game a lot, and since I wanted the most lives and continues, we played on hard mode. It was a lot of fun and we could beat the game no problem. Well, maybe lose 1 or 2 continues. This game lets you choose which one of the 4 turtles you want to play as, with their own weapons and reach. My personal favorite turtle is Donatello, and if available, I'll choose him 9 out of 10 times. The game may be short, but you'll have a blast throughout the entire thing, and I know that I at least do, but the games is the best while playing with a friend of yours. Number 5.
この世に悪があるとすれば、それは人の心だ。
The greatest JRPG on the console, if you ask me. Yes, even greater than the Square Giants, Super Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy VI. Tales of Fantasia is the first title in Namco's huge Tales of franchise. This game was never released outside of Japan for the Super Nintendo, but luckily There are plenty of fan translation of the game. Heck, there are even a Swedish fan translation of the game. It was amazing as far as I remember. Anyway, what makes this game so great compared to the other Super Nintendo RPG giants? The battle system, hands down. No other JRPG at the time, that wasn't an action RPG, had you fight in real time, and you can even get an item that lets you attack using fighting game combinations. How cool is that? It's pointless and kind of dumb, but it's still pretty cool. The story for the game is absolutely amazing, and it does the time traveling aspect sort of well. It had some epic moments for sure, and the music's so damn epic and amazing at the same time. If you haven't played it, I recommend you go and do so now. After the video, of course. Number 4. The first title to ever grace the Super Nintendo, and it's truly what made Super Mario super. In an entire new world at that. Super Mario World is arguably one of the best Mario games to grace the Earth, and such an amazing experience. It made an entire connected world with different stages, where some even had 2 exits. It introduced Yoshi, Mario's new best best friend. It introduced spin jumping, and it introduced a huge amount of new Mario enemies that would eventually grow into becoming iconic Mario enemies. This game is a huge part of my childhood, and I recommend that everyone gives this game a chance and try it out at least once. You don't have to like it, but you at least have to try it out. Number 3. The greatest platformer to ever be created for the Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, took what was already amazing with Donkey Kong Country and improved it tenfolds of tenfolds. It introduced a new female Kong by the name of Dixie Kong that could fly, or well float. It took the Battle of to King K. Rool and his Krem Isle rather than Donkey Kong Island, as DK has been kidnapped and it's up to Diddy and Dixie to save him. This game's levels and worlds are absolutely amazing, and the music even better. It reintroduces Engard and Rambi and gives them new abilities as well. They change up Squawks, let you play as the animal buddies, and introduce 2 new amazing ones, a spider and Rattle the Snake, which is my favorite animal buddy. I played this game a lot as a kid. In fact, my old TV died thanks to the sheer amount of times I had played this game. Definitely worth it to be my top 3rd Super Nintendo game. Number 2. The evil Napino Goblins turned good, has gone mad, and Napino Goblin Rocky, which clearly is a raccoon or a tanuki, set out to Pocky, the Shrine Maiden, for help. This action arcade adventure is the 2nd best game on the Super Nintendo of all time. I first played this game with my friends at his house, borrowed it a few weeks later, and played the living shit out of this game by myself and with friends. So much that I could beat the game single-handedly. Something I can't do these days. The story was really good, and the gameplay was amazing, with special moves, different weapon power-ups, and interesting enemies, levels and bosses. The music is incredibly beautiful, as well just like the game's graphics. It's difficult as all hell, but it felt like a Saturday cartoon to play through the game. The cooperative play is something I recommend to anyone playing this game. Just a shame that Natsume refuses to release the game on Nintendo's Virtual Console. Either way, this is a game I feel more people should play for themselves and hopefully beat. And now, what we have all been waiting for. NumberOne. Oh, NumberOne is Super Metroid. Did you really expect anything else? It's the best Super Nintendo game out there. One of the best games in general. If you want to know my opinions about it, check out my review of it.